YouTube? It's your girl, Bambi. I got a sore throat, so excuse how I sound. It's been a while since I actually picked up the phone to record anything. But I needed a little bit of privacy to be able to, come and share this story with you today. So, I just decided to grab a smoothie and head on out to local park area. So if you hear, kids playing or cars riding by with music and people screaming, shit like that, it's because I'm at the park. So, I keep it like real. My page is pretty private, right? Like, I definitely tell you what I want you to know. And I don't share more information outside of like what I want you to know. And what I have to share, I don't have to share it, but what I have to share with you today, it's not something that I would normally like post on social media, but I feel like it's my story, and I just got official news, and so I wanted to remember how I felt in this moment for some crazy reason. So I decided when I talked about it that I wanted to record it. So here it is. Like I said, this video may never surface. I may never post it, but I just wanted to remember this, like, I don't know, this feeling. But anyway, so it's no secret for those who like really know me that I am in my 40s, and I've never, I'm gonna say, had the pleasure of conceiving a child ever. And in the beginning, years ago, when I was in my 20s, I was like, who cares? Because I'm not married anyway. And I wasn't ready for a kid. And my whole thing was, when it's my time, it'll be my time. And when I'm ready, God is gonna make sure that it happens when it's supposed to happen, and who it's supposed to happen with. And crazy thing is that, I just continue to, get older or grow more mature, and God didn't see that it was the right time. So anyway, I always had this fear, like, in the back of my mind, that I wouldn't be able to have kids. I'm not sure exactly why, but deep down in the back of my mind, I always had that thought. At the same time, there was some denial with that. I was just like, nah, it's gonna happen when God says it's gonna happen. Like, that was my thing. Like, that's what I was banking on. When it was right, it was gonna happen for me. And yeah, so it wasn't until my current relationship that I felt that, I wanted to know, like, it wasn't about knowing, it was like, I want to have a baby, right? Like, and yeah, all these years I never looked into it until recently. And so I am 44 years old. Oh my gosh. And like currently on a journey to have a baby for the very first time. And so I knew that I was gonna, I needed to have some answers. Like I needed to find out some things. So, I was referred to a fertility place that basically, does a bunch of testing and looks into, what you got going on, and like helps with the process of having a child. And so I actually was referred there from my gynecologist. I'm not even telling the story right, but basically just know that my gynecologist, I was one day I had like severe pain, needed to go to the emergency room, was told that I had some fibroids that, needed to get looked into or whatever. I followed up with my GYN, and it was kind of like, this was like after the fact, I'm not in pain anymore. Everything seems good. Well, from what I know, everything seems good. And yeah, like he was basically sharing with me that, well, there's really nothing that you need to do at this point. It's not bothering you. It's not bothering you. There's no pain. We could just, move on and until it starts to become a problem. So I started asking about, fertility, and basically what the GYN was sharing with me was that, with my situation, it's on my own. It's highly likely that that's not going to happen, and that if I was interested in preserving my fertility, that I needed to go to this clinic and have some conversations with the specialist about the next steps. So that's what I did. And basically what ended up happening was I got this exam done where they were able to identify the fibroids with an S, because there's quite a few, the size of them, and like where they're located, and also look into my ovaries to see what's there. And so what came out of that was they wanted to do I'll put it on the screen, I guess, again, if I ever decide to edit and upload this video, but I think it's called AMH or AHM test, where it's a blood test where they get to see like what your reserves look like as far as your eggs are concerned, because most know, and if you don't, I'm going to share with you, when a female is born, she's born with all of the eggs she's ever going to have in life. So as she gets older, that supply of eggs that she had, it starts to, right, over time, it's decreasing the number of eggs that she has. And so by the time you get like 35, your chances of like getting pregnant really start to decline naturally, really start to decline. And by the time you get to where I am, it's like you're in the single digit percentage of possibility. Like, that's just kind of where it is. But anyway, what they were saying is that if I, decide I can still have a successful pregnancy and, have a baby if I decide to do in vitro. And the possibility of me doing in vitro with my own egg is very slim to none. And that was basically what was confirmed for me today. I don't have a lot of eggs, or a lot of eggs don't drop each month. They're able to, I don't even know what the test was. There was some kind of blood test that was done where they're able to really look into the hormone that's in the bloodstream. Apparently your pituitary gland, it's a gland in your brain, sends out this hormone to your ovaries to produce eggs. And my results basically shared that, or told the story that there's a lot of this hormone in my bloodstream because it's trying to kick the ovaries like into gear to, produce more eggs. Well, not produce more eggs, but, do what it needs to do, right? Because you're not going to produce more eggs. You're born with all the eggs that you have. So I'm not really sure what the terminology is. I just know that I don't, at this point, stage of the game, like, it's, there's other complications and things that are going on that it's truly just still making it like slim to none. And with the other complications that were found during this, I had a vaginal ultrasound, where they're able to look at the tubes and everything. And so, and there's fluid in my fallopian tubes, which is preventing the eggs from coming down. And they don't know how the fluid, got there, or how long it's been there, or, but it, has prevented the egg from coming down, or it's prevented the sperm from swimming up. And so that's likely the reason why I've had, difficulties with conceiving. So while going through this process this whole time, I'm thinking like, I'm going to be that miracle, right? I'm going to be that one where it's like, no, I don't have to look into like donor eggs or anything like that. Like, I'm going to be able to use my own legs. I'm going to be able to use my own eggs and do in vitro. And today was basically confirmed that the number of eggs that are produced is so low that I guess the chances of being able to like pick an egg each month or harvest, whatever it is, whatever the terms are that they call, I don't know. I'm just gonna do the best I can to describe to you what would happen. So at some point they would retrieve the eggs and attempt to combine the eggs with my partner's sperm to get an embryo, and then they would insert it inside of me and hope that it would attach in the uterus. And voila, there you go, right? The hell with a fallopian tube. Like, we don't need that to get it popping. But yeah, I guess because, the eggs that are there, I am so, mature in age that you just never know, you know what I mean, what you're gonna get, I guess. And the possibility of being able to retrieve a healthy egg and go through that process and then do in vitro. And it's like I said, the numbers, the possibilities are in the single digits, really close to zero. So that was my reality today. Like, I was basically hit with the news that I kind of always knew, which was like that I'm infertile, like that I'll never be able to have a biological child of my own. And so why even share this information, right? Why even put it out there? Because sometimes, have you ever wished that you had the ability to like get time back and do some things differently? Well, if I knew better, even if I didn't want to have a child, and I didn't, like in my 20s, in my early 30s, like I didn't want to have a child. Like I wanted to grow up, right? I wanted to be free and get established and make sure my ducks were in a row before, trying to bring a life into the world. And so, but had I had the right information at the time, I could have retrieved some eggs back then and, waited. I could have waited a little longer. I could have increased my own chances of having a biological child. A child with my own DNA. I don't think that's possible. Well, basically I was told it's not possible. So, I'm just hoping that, if I do decide to post this video, that, someone that needs this information, like, gets it, right? You don't have to, like, have a child, if you want to, wait and work on your career and, get established and, like, you can do that, but just know what your options are, as it relates to your fertility and ability to be able to have a family someday. Because those things are important too, right? Like, had I really known, I heard about things, but I wasn't worrying about that at the time. And now that's probably going to be like one of my biggest regrets. So, if you have the time, ask questions, see what your options are. Don't wait until, you have to rely on, time to be good to you, to be able to have a family. Like, just find out what's out there. And as for me, this is my story, and I have decisions that I need to make at this point. Like, do I move forward with like looking into, donor eggs? Do I give up on the whole idea of carrying myself, and do I just adopt? Like, I don't know what I want to do anymore. I mean, at this stage of the game, I kind of feel like, does it matter? Like, he'll be 45 years old this year. And you're still trying to, like, trying to live, trying to do things. Like, I don't want to say that I'm not in a stage of being, like, selfish. But I'm just kind of, I'm wondering, like, if it's not mine, is it worth it? Like, how would I feel about a donor egg, or like this? I don't know. If I post this, then it's likely that I'm probably gonna, post this journey. It might be too much for some, and you don't have to watch. And, it it might find its way to, someone who needs to hear the information, or someone that's interested in it. And, you know, maybe I can help just one person, and that's cool with me. I don't know. See what happens next.